Hello and welcome back to Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. This is the Goon to God run, and as you can see, we couldn't have timed this better. So it's officially 28 days later, survived for a month, and the game will give you all sorts of achievements. It's cool because it disables the achievements if you cheat, and so, I've done debug stuff in the past to try to figure out things and to understand the game better, dissect it as it were. But yeah, I'm not using anything this time, and we still haven't died for real. Look, I have a cold again, but my health is a lot better now. Now that it's been a month and Gary has been free of his antibiotic suffering, or excuse me, his bionic suffering. So look at what he did. In the meantime, since last episode, Gary ran around and completed his big looting run. He felt so emasculated the way the zombies, even still, are able to gang up on him and beat him up and take away his shopping cart. And so he went back out there. My lifestyle is at feel fine, which is really cool because it's been awful for a long time. So I'm going to start getting a lot of nice little passive benefits from having a good lifestyle. Remember, in version G, the way you get your lifestyle up is you run, you go on these little runs, and you eat your multivitamins or have a balanced diet. And then you can also, what's the other one? Oh, getting good sleep is really important for your health too. Yeah, so with everything Gary was able to get, he created 3 main implements that are really cool. So first you'll see on his body he's wearing a totally different outfit. This dude is pimped out. He's got the very fancy evening gown. And then on top of that he has this plated leather armor he made. It is so much better than the riot armor for not that much more encumbrance. I also upgraded to a top hat because again, there is very fancy and then there is fancy, and you want to go that extra mile. I'm glad on the Reddit for Cataclysm, I think I remember someone saying there's very fancy stuff in banks. So that's making me want to go try to hit a bank one day, maybe. You take non-drowsy cough syrup to deal with the effects of the cold before you get ready. And then Gary stacks his morale every morning by reading a bunch of holy books. Look, now that spring's almost over and it's going to be summer soon, warmth and heat and sweating are going to start to be problems. All these mechanics exist in the game. It's insane. So Gary is getting ready here. He's got his plated leather armor, looks so good. I also put on dress shoes for even more fancy. Furthermore, I created a nail bat, which was a really good bashing weapon. And finally, I found a USP-45, which is a nice modern handgun. I got a bunch of rounds for it in FMJ, which has armor piercing. There's all different kinds of ammo in this game. So look, I got this cool ass USP-45. At some point in the video here, what happened was the audio didn't work, so at some point in the video, I'm gonna check out the USP-45 to show it off. In the meantime, look at how high my focus gets. With morale traits and all the things we picked at the beginning, I'll get so much fucking focus. And as I learn more about the game, I realize I probably could have metagame stuff even harder. Fast learner's probably worth it. This firefighter PBA mask is so good. Especially because I didn't know that you can mutate a lot of the traits safely. I had to learn about the damn mutation system in Point G. So you're going to learn about it with me when we start finally finding mutagen, which will be really soon, because this is the first episode where Gary's going to go down. Look, I'm checking out the only hat for a gentleman. Look exquisite while laughing in the face of danger. What an excellent, excellent description for an item. Whoever writes these are geniuses. But this is the first episode that Gary's going to go down into the sewers. I got some flame-resistant gloves. Alright, check this thing out. A popular pistol widely used among law enforcement, extensively tested for durability. It has been found to stay accurate even after being subjected to extreme abuse. That's one of the other reasons I wanted it, honestly. So it has a match trigger. I found a bunch of mods because I raided gun stores, I raided tailoring stores and clothing stores, and I raided, I don't know, other stuff. There was other good stuff. I tried to get some instruments, but I got ganged up on and I had to leave them. But I found all these mods in the gun stores. So it has a red dot sight, it has an underbarrel laser sight, and then it has a tail hook stock, which I learned about. A tail hook stock is a very small stock that exists for handguns and submachine guns. And it's like so small that you can kind of like fold it into your arm instead of putting it up on your shoulder. So Gary is really pimped out. I also learned something about cooking. It was interesting. I usually have been eating cold food because I haven't been cooking a lot for myself yet. Now that food is starting to spoil and there's just going to be nothing left, I'll have to start learning how to cook for myself. But with that being said, I cooked these donut holes and they were hot. And I noticed that when they were hot, I think I literally got like double or triple the morale bonus. It was so fucking big that I hit 120 again. Which is I only know how to get to 120 in one way. So the more ways I can learn how to get morale that high, the better. With that being said, I want to learn more about that, because if I can get that happy making the best foods with high level food handling, it'll be worth it for me to learn how to cook. Okay, so look, here's Gary. He's going into the subway. He turns on his flashlight. He's breaking his way in. He knows he's going to need a jackhammer at some point, so he grabs one. He's looking around to see if there's any other jackhammers, because you can unload the jackhammers and fill them with the gasoline so that you have more uses. If I remember correctly, it's 200 gasoline per use of a jackhammer. So with 1200, it has 6 in it. You have to wield the jackhammer to move it, it's too big. You can check this desk that's always here. Sometimes they'll have like good maps and stuff. Also shit tons of computers, as you can see. Yeah, at the very beginning of the game, we did increase the loot rate a little tiny bit. We went from 1 to 1.25, which is a 25% increase. Alright, watch this. This just goes to show where Gary's at these days. So the way I attract this horde, I'm a fucking demon. So I drop the jackhammer, Gary drops the jackhammer, he pulls out his pistol, he shoots this zombie in the face, and then he drops the gun. Watch this. Bang. I love that noise it makes when you shoot. Okay, so you drop the gun, pull out the bat, and now all the zombies in a pretty big radius are gonna come to me. Yeah, look, here they come. There's new kinds of zombies. Look, it's a massive horde. I'm just knocking them out. I start to see some advanced zombies. Imagine Gary in the dark, just banging away at these things. The nail bat, I noticed, does get damaged when I block. So at one point I have to retreat. I have to retreat a bunch. Watch this. You gotta play smart. So when this thing grabs me, I get real cautious and I target it. That grappler zombie can move you like that. I notice there's a brute on me, so I start to move. Ooh. I love the heart rate sound, because now I know my stamina's starting to get low. And look at what I see as I turn the corner. Gary turns the corner and there's a fucking huge horde. Oh my god, look at that. At this point, I thought to myself, damn, I fucked up. I wonder if I'm about to die. So what I did was, I did something really interesting. With stamina that low, I'm moving slowly. I move a lot slower now that I have all this armor on. So I started to use I have a bunch of mobility traits, so I start to put some distance. Gary's running. Gary's just like kind of briskly walking, catching his breath while this massive horde. And then he turns off his flashlight in order to confuse the zombies. This is really cool what Gary does. So Gary knows the zombies can hear, and Gary has a booming voice. He can make a pretty loud noise. I think I kill this one real quick. Bam. Come on, bam. Hit him. Yeah. So what I do is I go to the right side of the tunnel. I'm on the wall. I wait a second. And I start yelling. You press capital CDL. So I just made a noise on the right side. They're all going to start coming to the right side. Then what I do is I flank a slant, like I do a diagonal slant, to keep moving forward, but also start moving. I run, because this is a point now where to do this maneuver, it'll be worth it to waste a little bit of stamina. This was a spider sample, I just had to see what it was. Okay, and then now I'm going to come back down on the left side of the tunnel. And there's so few zombies that have followed me at this point. When I come back, I see there's still a bunch here. And I get grabbed in the dark. Look, I'm getting dragged in the dark. I freak out. So I turn my flashlight on. I'm like, I can't see anything around me. I'm like, oh fuck. I turn my flashlight on while this thing is grabbed. And look at what it did! At this point, I'm surrounded. This is such a scary situation to be in. So I run back up the stairs. I literally just flee. Even though I'm at like full health and good stamina, that's just a shitty ass situation to be in. Luckily, the zombies will follow you up the stairs, so I'm able to start just beating them down as they walk up the stairs. You gotta play the game smart, especially with that, especially if you're gonna do melee. I don't know, I just love melee, and ammo is kind of hard to find. I feel like no matter what, well, maybe, I don't know, but I feel like I should try to do that one day, is try to do a gunslinger character from the very beginning that only uses ranged weapons. That would be really interesting. So I'm just sitting in here in this locked room to recover stamina. Turn on the sounds, because the heart rate sound is so useful. When you're in the zone trying to maneuver and swing well, it's nice to know that you're running out of stamina right now. Gary's a badass. He's probably killed over 60 zombies at this point. Remember back in the day when a single zombie I remember on episode 1 I almost got killed by a single feral human. He jumped me in my blankie. I was literally wrapped in a blanket and he beat my ass. And I think I killed him either with my fist or a pillow. For some reason, there's smoke in my apartment. Okay, at this point, feeling a little overwhelmed, and furthermore realizing that I haven't brought any antiseptic with me, I just heal real quick. I'm so lucky that my base is this close to this subway entrance. That makes things really easy, honestly. Cool. And what I do is I bring alcohol wipes. Since my healthcare is so high, even shitty things like little alcohol wipes, they'll give me a decent level of... They'll give me like a decent level of disinfectant. So you can peek down the stairs using X and then trying to go down. There was a zombie in the way there, so I looked down. Gary sees there's still a pretty sizable horde, but they're starting to disperse. Dead bodies lay amongst the horde. Gary notices there are strange zombies down here that are shadowy and hard to see. He feels like they're hard to hit too. So I just do a quick lap. I run around to get everyone's attention, and then I go back up. Don't fight. Don't fight in that situation. You will just get fucked up and die so fast. Because look, my stamina's already at half. I love that nail bat though. It works, man. You be fucking people up with that thing. There's advantages and disadvantages to like DPS arguments. do like how the bats and stuff also have special moves like sweep and... I don't know, I feel like they just have special moves. But with that being said, I would love to find either a military camp. Believe it or not, this game has martial arts that you can learn if you find books and then use your unarmed or your armed skills. And certain martial arts only work with certain weapons. It's so cool. Gary's so happy. The way I got my perception up to 8 is you get elated off of the books and then you take stimulants until you get the bonus. So Gary continues to just duke it out with the zombies. Look, it takes a while. Look at this fucking pile of dead bodies. This is horrific. Truly just horrific. I checked the time, I think, at that point. So, at this point, Gary's ready to start exploring. He's gonna kill all the monsters he finds as he goes. And notice I say monsters, not zombies. That's because we're gonna start to see weird stuff, especially down here in the subway. I have auto pickup rules on, so I automatically pick up pink tabs. I also pick up my gun again. How it goes, you fight your way. And it sucks, the game makes you work for it. It's really slow to fight your way through shit. That's why even though you can become survivable pretty early, you want to get as strong as possible. Because it makes it so that you're not spending as much real life time. And I do love playing this game, but I also love being efficient, you know, so any way I can save time is cool. That's why I really like the auto pickup. That's why I like Zone Manager. That's why I like auto travel. Shout out to the genius developers of this game for all these cool things they made. Look, this Boomer Glutton's fucking strong. I've been hitting this thing with my bat like a lot. Bam, it finally pops. Man, Gary, he's doing it now. He's not a goon anymore. He's definitely a guy. But he's got a long way to go before he's a god. When bugs like this happen, it's not that big a deal. You just press capital I. Feral troglodyte. There's mutated creatures down here. But at this point, Gary would expect anything. He's not so afraid at this point as well. Look at these creatures. There's these big ass slugs. When Gary sees things he's not comfortable fighting. But I found out over the course of this video that I don't have to be so afraid anymore. The armor is really good, and the gun is really good. This pimped out USP-45 is fucking dope, especially with the FMJ rounds. Yeah, I shoot that slug. To be fair, it takes a lot. I had to shoot that slug probably, damn, I don't know, like 8 times, 9 times, 10 times before it died. And then there's creatures down here called sludge crawlers that have extremely good armor. And I shot it and it bounced off. I shot it with the 45 with the armor piercing round and it fucking bounced off of it. Now look at this. At this point I find this creature called arthropod mutant. And these have totally just like traumatized me. Because I remember one of these killed a really, really good character I had. One of my longest characters I ever had got killed by them fucking arthropod mutants. So I got so scared I just turned my flashlight on, or turned my flashlight off and I ran away. Now, this is really cool. I find a thing. And a thing, well, let's see. It says it's a swirling mass of black tentacles. You see it down there? So I'm shooting it. Bang. The game has a cool aiming system where you have different ways you can fire. You can use a regular shot, a careful shot, or a precise shot. And they take different amounts of time depending on how long you've already been aiming. Look, it's so cool. And there's all these little dots and stars. And we got an achievement for killing our first Nether monster. Which is, I don't know, maybe when we start going into the labs, we'll learn more about the why, why the apocalypse happened in this universe. But for now, Gary's like, what the fuck was that thing? That wasn't from this planet. So I'm just doing my thing, I'm exploring. Bunch of monsters down here. It's taxing. I come to an intersection. This was interesting. Go southwest and I find these will take me to different parts of the city and even places I haven't been before. I will say it's probably more efficient to just travel down here. Because up there, you're going to have to fight every fucking zombie that tries to come after you. But down here, there's only a couple of monsters here and there. And you can probably just turn safe mode off and run through. Now look, this is crazy. There's a big fight happening. Watch me shoot this thing. 1, 2, 3. I think it was like, I don't know, it was a lot. I'm hitting this thing, nothing's happening. Reload. I think I go after it more. For 9 damage, 9 damage, 9 damage, 8 damage. So I was wrong. It can hit it. It looks like it just depends on how good the damage roll is. And I realize it's still not even that hurt. And I'm like, dude, fuck this. I'm shooting this thing over and over and nothing's happening. They're just fighting each other. So Gary's like, fuck it, I'm gonna let them fight. That's the Clash of the Titans over there. So with all that being said, Gary returns home. Kind of worn out, a little disappointed after not finding a lab, but he's going to come back with even stronger weapons if he can manage it. And he's determined to find one in the labs that the scientists talked about. With plated leather armor, fancy top gown, pimped out pistol, and the nail bat in tow, he's ready for anything, it feels like. Although you can still tell... you gotta be careful, it's easy to get overwhelmed. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.